Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another amazing episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He's the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up busting, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. Three continents down, three more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight. And like I said before, the funny thing is, I'm gonna take it back a bit. Almost a month ago, we had a young man who was very impressive, graduated the Nightmare Factory Camp 6. That's right, throwing up threes like Larry Bird in the Boston Celtics. And he actually mentioned something to us. He said, hey, you know something, yo, Remy, yo, Rob, I'm actually part of a tag team called Arcade Hangover. I'm like, wow, that sounds something I'd be into, Arcade Hangover, because your boy Remy Blue loves some retro gaming, some Double Dragon, some Bad Dudes, some Pac-Man, some Mario. And I was like, okay, who's the other member? He said his name was the life of the party, Mike Howard. So we're like, okay, let's go ahead and see who this guy is. So everybody, welcome to the show, a man who has a sweet what was it? Blue Thunder Bomb. I almost got my words mixed up. The life of the party, the other half of Arcade Hangover, the life of the party, Mike Howard. How you doing tonight, sir?
Yes, what an introduction that was right there, man. I don't know if I can follow it up with anything, but yeah, I'm doing good, man. Another day in paradise.
Honestly, you've been on our radar when we heard. I always tell Rob. Rob heard me say it. I was like, yo, if we would interview George Michael from Wham, then we definitely have to do only that we interviewed Andrew Ridgely. If we would interview Timberland from Timberland and Magoo, and then we would have to interview Magoo as well. We don't leave anybody out. So we were like, oh, wait, you were part of a tag team. Okay. And then he mentioned there was another guy named Jaden Jet. Jaden, if you're watching, don't go too far because we're going to have you. Matter of fact, we have you on Friday, but that's another story. But we were like, oh, he has a tag team partner. Okay, let's go ahead and get him on, man. We got to get that tag team partner on. So, welcome to the show, man. We really truly appreciate you being on here, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So I got to ask you, man. So, I've seen the highlight reel. I gotta say, you have a pretty good choice. That's one of my favorite and probably my only Offspring song that I know. Pretty Fly for a White Guy. Well, there's another one called "My Girlfriend Says I'm Lazy." Something about his girlfriend being lazy, has to get a job, and it's hilarious. But this one, "Pretty Fly for a White Guy," that's definitely one of my all-time favorite tracks as well. And I saw the highlight reel. I'm like, man, this man loves his Blue Thunder Bombs, man. He does them smooth too, man. Like, you definitely put in some good work, man.
I'm trying. I'm really trying to. That's the goal there at least.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you, man. I normally ask, 99% of our guests that we have on the show. How did your love for professional start? What was the match or the pay-per-view that made you, say, something? I'm hooked, and eventually I want to do this when I grow up.
Yeah. So like I've always watched wrestling growing up. My stepdad was like big, like old school wrestling. So like I got into like, Attitude Era and then even older stuff, even older than that. But as a kid, I was like, I was hooked. I loved it, but it wasn't like, man, I could do this. This is like my goal. This is what I'm gonna do. What got me hooked was CM Punk, Jeff Hardy. I think it was Money in the Bank. I couldn't tell you what year it was. I can't remember what year it was, but I think they were fighting over the belt, and I remember just watching that with Justin Xavier and just being like, man, that was it. And then I started getting more into NXT, watching more like Ring of Honor, New Japan, and just like I just fell in love immediately.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's really awesome. That you had a stepdad that actually brought you into. For me, it was actually my superintendent. my babysitter's husband that actually got me into like he didn't even tell me anything about it. He just had it on one time, and I was like, wow, this is interesting. And then the match that really got me hooked was Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake versus Zeus and Randy Savage, and I was like a kid that had his first taste of candy after that, man. I was like, I need more. I want to see more of this, and I've been a fan ever since then. That was like 30 years ago, so 33 years ago exactly. So yeah, man, and that's great. He got into New Japan. A lot of people start off with WWE, but that's great. He start off with the old school stuff and New Japan and all that. A lot of classics there as well too. So tell us, man, like how did you like? So now that you did you have? So who are some of your favorites? First of all, growing up watching wrestling.
So my immediate favorite was CM Punk. I something about him, about his in ring work, that like immediately I just like was drawn to, um, and like my taste developed the more I got a part of of wrestling in the business. So like CM Punk was the first one. I was like, boom, love that's my guy. And there was a couple other guys, like obviously Undertaker, Big Randy Orton guy. My next ones I kind of like get really deep into was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens being a guy of a similar build and size to me, and then Sammy being more of a fight from underneath kind of guy, which I kind of relate to. I related to in a way. Um, and then once I got once I started wrestling myself and training, I got super deep in the Dusty Roads. Super deep in the Dusty Roads.
Okay, okay. I could definitely see you doing a little. I mean, you're life for the party, so I could definitely see you dancing that ring and doing a couple of 1-2 punches or so on somebody. I could see you doing that, man. Hey, you know, I could definitely see. Ain't no shame in your game, man. Ain't no shame in your game. But I actually, it's funny because I was like, when I saw you and Pac-Man, I was like, man, I don't want to tell this man that him and Pac-Man look like remind me of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and because that's what y'all remind me of. That's what y'all remind me of. You have like the brawling, type, um, style that you have, and then Pac-Man, he's flying all over the place, So it's like, man, like y'all, like they, but I didn't want to be like, oh, because I'm a big guy too. I'm a big guy. So I'm like, oh, I'm saying like, I don't want, this guy thinks because I'm the big guy, my friend's skinny, that we're like,
Oh no,
it's not like
100%.
that.
I tell him all the time. I'm like, dude, you were the Sami Zayn to my Kevin Owens, and like, I love Sami Zayn. I'm a big Sami Zayn guy. Always, like, I always have been. My first match of it I watched, I think it was him and Cesaro, um, early on NXT with Black and Gold. I was like, oh my gosh! And then he started working like um, uh, other guys. I can't think of other names off the top of my head right now. There was a specific match I have in mind, and I can't just like put two and two together. But like I got deep into him, and I still a lot of stuff like Sami Zayn. So like the fight from underneath, obviously the Blue Thunder Bomb, a couple other small things, but like big Kevin Owens guy, like big brawl, use my low center of gravity and throw my body at people.
Yeah, you guys definitely, I could definitely see you guys going far, man. You guys are definitely a talented duo, definitely a talented duo as well. So, did you ever get to meet any of your favorites growing up, like CM Punk, or have you ever gotten to meet like Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn?
I have not, so I haven't got to meet any of them. None of them personally yet. Now I've got to meet others along the way so far of guys I've either watched or like my Brutus the Beefcake, super nice guy, super nice guy. Um, Sat there and talked to me and Justin. Actually, we were at a show. He did it, an appearance at and everything, and we got to sit there and just talk to him about like his longevity. Um, Paul London recently talked to him at another show where I was just like, got to sit and just talk to him and just be like, hey, did you watch? He was like, I watched your match actually. I really enjoyed it. And we talked about like the inner workings of everything. And I'm like, dude, this is cool. Like my stepdad's like, dude, you got to sit there and just talk to Paul London. That's great. I think that's cool. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, Paul London. I'll tell you a quick story. So I was a huge London and Kendrick fan because they remind me of my first favorite tag team, the Rockers, which was Shawn Michaels and Marginetti. And so I was watching them. I was like, wow, this is like Shawn and Marty like reincarnated. And I remember I did the only shirt, the one shirt that they have ever released on WWE. I was like, I'm gonna get that shirt above anything else. I have to get that shirt. And I eventually bought it, and that was like circa 2008. So fast forward 5 years later, 2013, I'm going to this promotion called Family Wrestling Entertainment (FWE), here in New York. I live in Brooklyn, and it's in Queens. And so I'm like, okay, I'm making my way over to the show, and I have on the London and Kendrick shirt. I knew they were going to be there, and I'm there to support. So when I go there, I see Paul London right at his table. And as I'm walking towards him, he's like, "Oh, look, a fan! Wow!" And I didn't even ask this man anything, and he was like, "Bro, is it okay if I sign, your shirt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's yours, man. Go ahead." He was a really cool guy, man. Still is.
Genuine, like very genuine. Like some, I'm not like nobody in particular. I would think, but like I've heard stories of people being like, "Yeah, I'll talk to so and so," and it's kind of like a generic responses, doesn't care or whatever. But like genuine responses, he genuinely cared. He's like, "I want to pass on as much information as I can. If you're recepting, I'll go. I'll pass on whatever."
Yeah,
Um,
I look at people like Paul London and Matt Hardy, um, and even Brian Kendrick as tag team partner. And I gotta say, like, if I were ever running a promotion on the level of a Vince McMahon or a Tony Khan or even a Scott Demore, if you want to go that far, um, as well, um, I would not even find a gimmick for those. I'd be like, look, I know you guys are hella creative. You have free creative freedom with your characters. Do whatever you want to do because I already know it's going to be great. I already know it's going to be phenomenal. I always said that Matt Hardy was one of the guys that his career should have skyrocketed more than it should have been, as much as Jeff's. And luckily, he got to prove that in Impact Wrestling with the whole deletion angle. And I was
love
like,
that.
see, I told y'all,
Oh,
man. I mean, yeah, I was telling people like I told y'all the man's hella creative, man. Like it's just Vince just probably saw, and I'm not trying to bad talk Vince, but I'm like he probably saw something that just wasn't good at that time, but it should have skyrocketed back with the whole love triangle with him, Lita, and Edge.
there. I was listening to a podcast, and um, it was one of the members of Breezango talking, and I want to say it was Tyler Breeze. He was talking about a story about like how Vince will see certain stuff that like nobody else does. He only sees it, and people have to trust him. And it's like yeah, there's bad ideas thrown out. That happens, but everybody has bad ideas. It was something between them and the Usos, and it was like a whole match, a whole thing. Producers were like, just go with what he wants. They had a killer match, came back for a standing ovation. Everybody's cheering, applauding them. And the same producer goes, sometimes you just have to trust the people. And that's the same thing with the independents. That's the same thing with the big leagues. It's all the same thing. It's all the same, like, very general concept. Like, sometimes you just got to be like, yeah, okay, roll with the punches. I may be like, that's the worst idea in the entire existence, but it actually may make millions of dollars. And I just have no idea. But sometimes they see stuff I just don't.
Yeah. So, um, in terms of your wrestling career now, now you're going to the shows, you're supporting your favorites, you're cheering them on and whatnot. And now you decided, something, I want to be more than a fan. So you actually, what I call, jump the guardrail. And when I say jump the guardrail, for those of you, I swear, I gotta find a better term for this, but I use this for now. When I say jump the guardrail, I mean like you decide, okay, I'm going to jump it respectfully and enter the business. So you pretty much jump the guardrail and decided to become a pro wrestler. Just like how Rob decided to jump it and he became a referee. I'm never going to jump that guardrail, but I'll leave that to you young boys because I'm just too old. I'm not going to put my body through that. But yeah. So you decided to become a professional wrestler. How did your journey go? Like going from fan to now the life of the party, Mike Howard, one half of Arcade Hangover. Like, how did your training go and everything?
Yeah, so as far as like my journey from going from like originally being a fan, um, I would go to shows on the Independent. So there's a place out in area in Ohio called Cleves, Ohio. They also ran in Harrison. Same, just like same small towns right next to each other, so it's all the same little area. Um, all based out of Cincinnati, called Battle on the Border. I was there from show number one when they first opened up doing shows there. I was there. Me and Justin front row every single show. as when it was probably middle schoolish, I want to say, give or take, and that's like what helped develop the love and feel more of kind of like a brotherhood. It felt like, even as a fan, you kind of felt that same idea. There's a guy who wrestled there, who wrestles now in Impact, Jackson Stone, world class guy, world class. Like, love him to death. Um, like, still to this day remembers me. They like I was there day one, got his shirt. I still have the shirt down in the room over there. It's a bright yellow shirt too, and that's not. I don't wear bright yellow shirts, but I'll wear that shirt because I love that shirt. Um, but I remember going to shows, and me and Justin, we were kids, like we were in middle school, early high school. We like wrestle in the backyard, trampolines, whatever, stuff like that. I think he even talked about it when he was on there. When he graduated high school, he went straight to training. He had an idea. He knew what he wanted to do. I went to college. I started going to college. I ended up dropping out, working full time, did the whole deal. He said one day, "Hey, Mike, just come try it out. I think you're going to like it. I think you're really going to enjoy it." I came after work one day, showed up, and was just like, "Hey, I'm here to kind of hang out. I'm friends with Justin." And talked to all the boys, talked to the trainers, and I was like, I'm really liking this. Came back a second day after work, 2 days later, and did some like very general stuff in the ring, kind of messed around. And I was like, I want to be in here. I feel like I belong. Started training Cincinnati, Ohio, Ascend Pro Wrestling, their training school with Tim Lutz, Tom Sharp, Butcher Manson. Just like once I started, it was gone from there. Immediately, I took off. Um, just fell in love with it very early on while paying dues. Helping out, doing what I can. Set up, tear down, all those stuff like that. Obviously, helping out where I can. I started refereeing. So my first 8 to 10 months, I refereed while under the training, um, and I credit that 200% to as far as like my personal ring positioning. How I do do my stuff in the ring. So without that, I'd be 8 to 10 months behind where I'm at now. So that kind of gave me like a leg up automatically. Helped out so much. Um, Along the way, I had some really good mentors. Continuing on and stuff. So like there's a gentleman, Chris Ledbetter, Sergeant Ledbetter, helped out a lot psychology wise. Justin trained before I did, so he's honestly helped me out a lot through my early days and helping like getting my basics down, helping me get my footsteps. And another guy, Carson Drake, love to hate him, hate to love him at the same time. God, he's a character, but he's another guy. I mean, helped me a lot with training, but he wrestled before I did. So I took his whatever he could take give, and then we worked a story for about 4 months of the first like storyline after I debuted, and I credit that so much to him, honestly.
Wow, that's awesome, man. And the fact that y'all were great. Y'all are great friends, and y'all stuck to it. And y'all actually are now a tag team. You're doing your thing. That's pretty awesome as well. Because Justin told me that it was you, him, Jaden Jet. Y'all kind of start off as like in a backyard situation, and then y'all just eventually evolve from there too. And I credit y'all for that because a lot of people that do the backyard thing, they don't ever like evolve from that. Like they just stay in one situation. But from what I've seen, far and few actually like decide, okay, I'm gonna take this thing seriously. I'm gonna go get some more training. I'm gonna try to get into like get into an indie show. Stop training, stop going to the backyard. I'm gonna try to go to the rec center. The high school gym and so on. Get that exposure and try to level up and so on. So I commend you guys for doing that as well too. And I just hope you guys keep on keeping on. Hopefully we can get to see one day Arcade Hangover versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I'm all for that.
Oh, I am
I'm
too.
definitely all for that.
Me too. Ooh, me too. Oh yeah, that'd be. That's probably the feel like that's probably the dream match. Honest to God, Arcade Hangover, KO and Sammy. Oh, just a clash of styles that just works so well together too.
Yeah. So wait, so Jaden, I saw that also Jaden Jet was also a tag team with Justin.
Yes. So
Have y'all ever tag team before?
yeah. So so Justin started probably about a year, close to a year before I did, honestly, give or take some time. Um, he came in the same time as Jaden Jet, so they both started together, all to Ascend Pro Wrestling together, and they debuted as a tag team. They stayed a tag team for a while, stopped doing it, and then they kind of kept doing it off and on for a little bit. But overall, they were started off as a tag team, and then uh, Jaden Jet turned to the dark side, as I would say. He kicked Justin in the face,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's so. Has there ever been a triple tag team with y'all, or have y'all just been like a tag team? Like,
Nothing but
because I'm always curious. Like, okay, this person tag team, and this person that they tag team with the other person, but the two people that the person tag team with, they've never like. How would they get along as a tree? Like, for example, a good example of that is Time Machine. Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley were are the Motor City Machine Guns. Alex Shelley, he went away for a bit. Teamed with Kushida, became the Time Splitters in New Japan. And they got some exposure over here too. And then all of a sudden, like Alex Shelley, he went away for a bit again. And then Chris Sabin, crazily enough, started teaming with Kushida. And I gotta ask him one day, like, if there's an official tag team for him and Kushida, because I'd like to know if he has another tag team. But crazily enough, there was no bickering. Like they worked as well as Alex Shelley and Kushida did. So I'm like, wow. And then they had the whole 6-man tag team that they formed, and I was like, wow, these guys really clicked, man. So I was wondering, like, if that's the same thing with you guys and Jaden Jet, like, if we'd actually see that would be something to see.
that would be something. Um, we all have wrestled each other in a triple threat before. We did that out in Pennsylvania, a little town called McKeesport,
Okay.
right outside Pittsburgh, and we had a triple threat out there. That's probably the closest. I know me and Justin. So Arcade Hangover, we've wrestled against Jaden and somebody else in a tag match, but nothing. Nothing as a nothing as a trios. Nothing yet. Um, unless
Okay.
I don't want to be kicked in the face. I mean, that's just me.
I'm sure nobody does, man. I'm sure nobody does. So you're the life of the party, man. So I gotta ask you. I just got a couple more questions for, like, one or two more questions for before Rob. Before I hand over to kind of Rob, got a couple questions for you as well. So I gotta ask you, man. Life of the party, man. Like, if you had to plan a party, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would your idea like theme be, and who would your host be if you didn't want to host yourself, or guest host or co-host? And who would your special guest performers be? You can't have a party without special guest performers.
Huh. Well, let's see. Theme. I don't know if there'd be really a theme. Honestly, I mean, if you want a theme, I'll go with Waffle House. I love Waffle House. I'll take that.
Or you trying to get people? You trying to throw chairs at people? Okay, all right. I see
I
you.
have not been in a situation where I've seen. I've been to Waffle House so many times in my life. I mean, so many times in my life. I have not been in a single Waffle House where there's been a fight. I've been really disappointed in that because I
Yeah,
want to
me
sit down.
neither.
Because I want to start throwing through blue thunder bombs at people in a Waffle House. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm surprised that girl. Somebody didn't try to book that girl that caught that chair, and because I was like, what? Shoots.
That was crazy. Um, but yeah, I don't know if there would be necessarily be a theme. I mean, if there had to be a theme, I'd say Waffle House. I love Waffle House. Um,
Okay.
it's a that kind of sounds good now, honestly.
Okay.
Um, let's see. If I'm not hosting it, man, that'd be a drop down, I guess. Let's see. I'd probably Justin. I'd have Justin host it, honestly.
Okay.
Justin's a hoot. If Justin's listening to this or hear this, he can be a hoot. Don't let him be a little timid. He can be a little timid sometimes. I'm the one who's a little all over the place. That dude can go. I've seen him do some crazy stuff. He's awesome. I'd say him. Get him going. Get him all riled up. It's kind of like you have to like shake him up a little bit. And then he then gets going. Um, um, performer. Ooh, let's see. I'm big on supporting local as much as I humanly can.
Okay.
So I'd say probably some local artists in if it's here, I'd say local artists from this area. Then in that case, um, like I have a couple buddies that rap. I got a couple guys who are like in bands and stuff like that. I'd probably want like local guys if possible.
Okay. Nothing wrong with supporting locals. A lot of times, locals are the best way to go, especially if it's going to be in your hometown. Why
Yeah,
not
why
get
not?
some people that in your area are familiar with? You know.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. It's the same way with like independent wrestling, and it's in the same like ballpark kind of like as that is. Support local as you can. I mean, obviously, I love listening to all these big artists as much as the next guy, but at the same time, I'm gonna support local. I'm gonna listen to the other guy like my boys and stuff. Um, like there's a guy. He's not. I don't think he's necessarily like Cincinnati-ish area, but like Myron Reed, for instance. Myron Reed makes music. One of his other
Okay.
guys, Matt Diesel, who's like Indianapolis. I want to say he's based out of.
Mm.
He's like one of his boys. They both make music. I'd like that'd be push local as much as possible.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So my last question before I turn it over to Rob is, you guys, like I said before, you guys actually went from, the backyard, from doing the backyard scene to, now you're both, getting bookings to shows and whatnot. You're pretty much performing in several different states, Pennsylvania, Ohio, et cetera, et cetera. You know, what if two guys were to come to Arcade Hangover and they were like, hey, something? You guys are awesome. We like what you guys are doing. You guys are an inspiration. We want to, level up from being, in the backyard scene. We want to actually start, leveling up to, rec centers and, high school gyms and so on. What advice would you give those two people that are looking to level up from the backyard scene to a higher echelon of the indie scene?
Yeah. So um, the key thing it's a kind of two-parter. Be willing to listen and be open to like what others have to say, and communication is key. Be able to communicate. That's every level of anything in the business. Be able to talk and communicate. Whether it's I'm talking to a promoter about a show, or as simple as I don't understand how to do this. Um, like there's nothing wrong at all with being like talk. Like let's communicate about X, Y, and Z. But also once you communicate that, to be able to recept it. Um, I help run the training school out here in Cincinnati. So like if it's a show around here, I'm absolutely going to be like, hey, I if you're here's the area, Center Pro Wrestling Training School. We're out in Cincinnati. I'll send you info. Let's just come and hang out with us for a day because that's what I did. I went from wrestling backyard. There was a gap of time, but like my next full big experience, minus going to shows and like indie shows, was coming to a practice. So I'd recommend like, hey, just come hang out with us or come to a show. I will personally invite people to shows and be like, hey, come to a show. We'll hang out. We'll talk about some stuff. They see me perform and they get excited, like, wow, you got a crazy act. It's like, well, yeah, here's where I trained. If you ever really want to take this seriously, let's talk. If not, there are other training schools, obviously. You have Larry D's training school down in Cynthiana, Kentucky. I could be wrong in the area. You have down another area in Kentucky, Elite Wrestling Alliance. They do wrestling training. There are multiple places. I will recommend places. Um, there's a place for everybody in the business. He's got to be willing to accept and learn and listen.
Awesome. So for those of you that are actually currently in the backyard season, we're not judging you. We're not judging you. Whatever, hey, whatever floats your boat. But for those of you that are currently in the backyard wrestling scene and you want to end up and eventually you want to level up to the higher level of the indie scene, like going like actually performing in buildings, you know, um, like I said, the high school gyms, the basketball courts, your local rec center and whatnot. You just got some advice from one of the men who just did the damn thing and actually leveled up to another level in the indie scene. So, there's a bit of advice for you. Anything else? He'll leave his social media after the show, and you could probably DM him. He might charge you because time is money, but you know you just got a little something something from one half of Arcade Hangover. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to my tag team partner, the guy who's going to do all the high flying and the moonsaults in the ring and whatnot, while I stay in the corner and be like, yeah, I'm safe over here. Rob
Cheer
Bates, go
on,
ahead,
yeah,
man. The
do
floor is
those
yours.
splits.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know about all the moonsaults and stuff, man. I barely know how to lock up. You know what I mean? My bumps are crappy and my punches are crappy, so that's why I stick to refing, man. Like you stay there, So what's going on, man? How you doing today? How's your day been? Has it been a crazy day? Normal day? Anything crazy happen?
I got an extra day of training in. Had one of our newer guys at the training school. I was kind of like, hey, I have an open day today. I'm very relatively open today. Who wants to get some extra ring time? And I got guy reach out and was like, hey, I'd love to get some extra ring time. And we probably spent about 3 hours going over some stuff. He's like 3 days in, like super, super, super green. So like heavy on bumps, heavy on
Yeah.
lockups. Very, very like he I see the effort. I see that he wants to get better. So
hmm
I'm available.
Yeah. So what when you're doing your school and stuff, how many days a week are you open usually?
Typically two. We typically
Two.
train Tuesdays and Thursdays. So again, I help out with the training there. It's typically me and then the head trainer, the guy who runs the school and is the
hmm
owner of the promotion itself. That the parent company, I guess. The
Yeah.
Sun
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling is that's Tim Letts. We have had more trainers kind of come in and out. So guys that help train me, Butcher Manson. He's done some stuff with like OVW back in the day. Um, Tom Sharp. Tom Sharp's very similar, like sizing relatively that I am, so like I helped out a lot. And then my technical, any kind of technical prowess, anything at all, I do
Yeah.
technical. I give my
Nice.
point to Jay West. That's my guy. We've had guys come in
That,
and out, and then I do what I can to try to pass on anything I possibly can to whoever I can.
Nice. And now, do you have a is like Tuesday a beginner class and Thursday like the experience class, or is it like open class for everybody? Everybody can get to learn. Like young guys learn from the older guys. Do stuff with them and all that good stuff.
So yeah, it's pretty relatively open. I'd say our ranges right now are from day three is probably our newest one because we just had a guy very 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 recently start, um, and then our high end is probably about a year. That's
Okay.
typically we have guys that come in and get some extra ring work that just want to like work on stuff or just whatever, and we'll have vets circle in. We'll have guys that have been training about my time frame, if not more
Mhm.
or maybe even a little less. I want to be like, hey, I want to work on this spot or this or that.
That's
I'd
good.
say typically the high end though, we have two guys actually about to debut Saturday. I'm really excited for them.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome, man. So
I'm
are they
super
working
excited.
against each other, or you got them, somebody experienced with them? You know what I mean?
No, I no. They're actually they're doing a handicap match. So their
Oh, okay.
debut, yeah. So their debut technically was they attacked one of the existing members of the roster with a kendo stick
Mm.
after attempting to help him, quote unquote, and yeah, they called him out. Oh, they got called out. So it's Zachary the Cut Man Don and Dazo versus Omega Day, one of the biggest and like most upcoming names in Kentucky right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I always like when I see guys go through our school and stuff, and they get to make their like first wrestling debut or refing debut or whatever debut they got to do. I'm always happy. I'm like, yeah, man, like it, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because sometimes I remember a guy,
They're like kids almost. It feels so good. It was like
yeah,
I was there their day one, and I've helped them since then. And more recent, I've been kind of like again, helping out a lot more with training, like with the training school itself, like actually training and doing drills and putting them through stuff. So like, it's like they're my kids. I'm like, yes, yeah, let's go. I'm
Yeah.
so excited for them.
Yeah, I love watching it, from seeing like, day one, it's like, do it, they can barely do up and overs or whatever, you know what I mean? And then, like 6 months later, it's like, bam, they out there doing the thing, you know what I mean? It's like, I can do this without anything. It's like, yeah, there you go, you know what I mean? It's like, that's right, man. I love seeing it. I love it. I love seeing everybody succeed, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when you got the first, so when you were first, started and all, you said you ref before you wrestled and stuff. So tell me, what was your refing experience like? What was your first match like when you ref? Were you kind of nervous going out there? Like, because I know when I went out there, I was like, all right, I just gotta remember my safe spots. You know what I mean? Let me just remember that, and then let me get through this one. I can get going. You know what I mean? So, were you nervous? Was you like,
Oh my gosh, I was on edge. So it was
Oh,
so
okay.
again, Justin started about a year or so before me. So he was doing a show out in Indiana, and he was like, "Hey Mike, you just want to come and hang out with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Kind of like I do this the same thing for the guys I have training with us now, where it's like, "Hey, you're not gonna like you're not working like you're not there. You haven't even debuted yet, but it gets you in, it gets you like meet people. So whenever you are ready, it's like, hey, who's that one guy that was super nice? Gets you in the door automatically, kind of deal. And it doesn't help to have an extra hand to help out. So I was that guy, and the day before, I get a call saying, hey, they're short on refs. We got practice tonight. Can you work on refing and just it helps? Like, yeah, sure, that's fine. That'd be fine. I went and got a ref shirt from Dick's after I got off work. I say, okay, cool. Got to practice, worked on refing, the general aspect. They said, hey, you're helping somebody fill in. You're not going to get it 100% the first time. It's going to happen. You're going to have whatever happen. Just like wrestling, it's the same exact thing.
Mhm.
I went in there. I was like this. I was like, one. So bad. I and then my that was like very 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 early on. So once I got back, and training for the rest of next couple of weeks. They're like, hey, you've been working on refing. You've been really good. You want to ref for our shows? It helps. It'll be a good thing. Paying dues. And I'm like, absolutely, whatever I can do to help benefit a show. I love to do it. I don't want to just be a body that just stand there like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I refed for about, like I think 8 to 10 months, give or take some time. But again, that helps so much with my ring position.
Oh yeah, yeah. And plus, you can get the crowd. Like especially where I'm at in Delaware, 1CW. The crowd that if they like the ref or whatever, so they'll just give you crap. You know what I mean? Like they'll like so like if say I'm doing a tag match. One of the guys are coming out. I'm like, yo, you gotta go back do your thing, and maybe there's some chicanery going on behind me, but I can't see it. You know what I mean? Everybody like, you want to turn around? And I turn around. Ain't nothing going on. So I can't see. So I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden, everybody's like, "This ref sucks. This ref sucks." I'm like, "Yeah."
So my thing was it was nothing crazy. So my mom, God love her, she got me. But she knows I'm a big sock guy. I collect socks. I
Mhm.
have neat, crazy, cool socks. And she says, I got you a pair of socks for wrestling. I'm like, I'm thinking of like Hulk Hogan socks or whatever. And she didn't tell me about them.
Yeah.
She brought them to the show. It was a pair of striped socks, black and white striped socks.
Oh,
So I
nice,
had referee socks. And my pants,
nice.
how my pants are, I wouldn't think like capris. I'm not gonna say capris, but like I don't wear them all the way to the ground. Like they
Yeah.
are how they're cut and everything. They're up slightly. So you could see my refs, my ref socks, and that got me over quick. That and my hair, because I have long hair, so like my
That's
hair is
awesome.
done automatically, so they like immediately drew to me.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, whenever I do that, my parents haven't got me like stuff like that, but I can hear them whenever they come to my shows. You're usually the loudest one, like this ref sucks. That was three, not two. Stuff like that. They're always my biggest supporters. I always hear them. I'm like, oh, mom. Oh man. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, yeah. Like I've had the young guys when they wrestled and stuff. Before they got to wrestle, they were reffing and stuff. I had one guy come back like, man, the whole crowd was yelling at me saying I suck. Is that good? It's like, yeah, am I good? Am I good? I was like, man, you're good to go, man. long as you went out there and did it, man. Because I've heard stories. I haven't seen it. Like they told me, like they've had people go through training and da da da, and then come to show, get ready to go through that curtain with the crowd. They're like, they freeze and they're like, I can't do it. I'm like, whew. I don't know about. I haven't done that. I haven't seen that, but yeah, I can imagine that happening though. Whew.
My it's like my debut was as a referee that wrestled. Um, it's like my debut was it was like a story going on, the heavyweight champ and then another guy, Chris Allen. So it was Donnie, probably Prima Donnie and Chris Allen. They're feuding. They want to work each other at like our house show. We had a training show. Like no, this can't happen. This can't happen. He goes, well, what about the referee? Heard he's been training. So that was like the gimmick going in there. So referee Mike Howard got the wrestle heavyweight champion and got the snot beat out of me.
Oh man. Hey, it happens, what I mean? A lot of people's first match, that's how it goes again, you know
But
what I mean?
show respect. He was
Yeah,
part of a group called GK Fam. We all got together. We partied after, and that's where the birth of Party Mike came from.
there you go. That's right. Oh man, so man, yeah, I do gotta ask, I mean, Remy asked, how you would plan a party, but I gotta ask, because I'm a middle-aged man in his 40s, you know what I mean, and I don't know how to be the life of a party anymore, you know what I mean? I'm in bed by like 10, so what can I do, to get that what was it that midlife crisis and get my partying back? Are there any tips? Because I do got the Hawaiian shirts, I got all that stuff, man. Is there somebody I gotta listen to music wise? Because well, all my music ends at about 2009, 10. I mean, after that, I haven't listened to anything new. So,
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll put some tunes on. You just gotta feel the vibe out. You gotta feel it
mhm.
out, like what's going on. Who you got there? If I got a bunch of the wrestling guys, I'm putting on old wrestling theme songs. They're gonna pop as soon as I put on like any old Shawn Michaels song comes on, the entire room is going to explode.
Yeah,
So if it's a bunch of wrestling
yeah,
fans, it's over. If it's not, there's a bunch of the boys that are aren't like wrestling fans or been in the business. Put on some newer stuff. I'll put some new stuff on. Typical like hip hop, like rap and stuff like that. That's what I'll put on most of the case. Um, if like I'm with my stepdad or a bunch of bunch of his friends and stuff like that, like we used to go bowling and stuff. I'll put on some like old heavy metal, classic rock, and we'll all be jamming out to that. You gotta feel the vibe out.
yeah.
Don't kill the vibe. You don't want to put on this crazy new music in front of my stepdad. He's gonna might explode to a billion pieces.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. It'd be like, sometimes when I ride with my dad, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to jam to something. He'd be like, no, if you buck, right? My dad's like 65. He's like, and I'm like, you got to throw bows, Pop. You got to throw them bows, He's like, but, I'll put on some old classic rock for him, he'd be all right. So I got to ask, what do you prefer wrestling? Do you prefer tag team or singles? You know what I mean? Is there anything you prefer, or do you like, hey, whatever I'm doing, I'm good to go?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really had a preference. I think partner, like if it's tag wrestling, your partner plays a big factor into it.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't had a scenario that I would say necessarily, but if you have a partner that's on the same page, it's like no matter it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't feel right. Like something feels off. Um, I've heard some horror stories of that where it's like we were not on the same page.
Yeah.
Now you can be on different pages, but in the same book. And that's how I describe kind of how me and Justin work, really. So Justin's a high flyer, jumping and doing craziness, and I'm more old school. I'm gonna throw my low center of gravity at you, and that's where like our styles, it's different, but they mesh so well.
Yeah.
Um, but singles wrestling, I don't mind beating people up for however long, and then beating them.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. So I got to add, since you're over there, Cincinnati and stuff, where's the farthest you traveled so far? You said you went over there by Pittsburgh and stuff. Have you gotten any farther east? Have you gotten, farther west, north, south, or you pretty much locally been pretty much in the area kicking butt?
So consistently, at least as of now, so Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana is a big one. Like those are like big ones I'm like very consistently at. I've started slowly getting more and more and more into deeper Tennessee. There's that Tennessee wrestling. Ooh man, That's some old school stuff right there, and they just
Oh
love
yeah.
wrestling. They love. Again, I work very very simple and easy. I love that old school wrestling. What I do is not crazy, big, flashy Canadian destroyers jumping around and
Hmm.
stuff. Like dives terrify me. I don't do all of that.
Yeah.
So I've been getting deeper into Tennessee. Wisconsin's been fun. PA's been great to me. A couple other small places in between. I will have my. So what is it? It's today is about less than a month from now. I'll have my furthest trip yet. November 11th, I will be in Alaska.
Oh, nice. So, what are you doing up there in Alaska? Are you wrestling up there? Is there, promotion up there? Like where at in Alaska?
I'll be in Anchorage. I'll be flying
Okay.
from Cincinnati to Anchorage. Um, I'll be going a little bit. I'll be going a little bit before because I want to do some stuff. I want like
Mhm.
obviously I want to like do some stuff on there. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably wrestle them up there too. I'm very 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 excited and happy for the opportunity. Again, I'm gonna wrestle. I'm gonna go kill it out there. And then on top of that, my goal is to ride a moose. I know it's not
Oh
possible.
man.
It's
Yeah.
not possible, but I'm gonna make it possible.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, man. Because I have a similar goal. That's to ride a dolphin. Every time I go to an aquarium, I wear breakaway pants. So if I can sneak away, I got my swim trunks on. I can roll. You know what I mean? But I've been caught every time. But one time I'm gonna get it. One time I'm gonna get it.
One of these times it's going to happen. You're going to latch on, and it's going to be like, um, every time I go to Tennessee, sometimes Kentucky, but it's like deep Kentucky, but it has to be Tennessee normally.
Mhm.
Um, uh, good old the lady will kill me if I try doing this again. I tried taking a selfie with a bear.
Oh man.
There's a video of me out there somewhere, and I'm physically like I'm walking up to the bear, and I'm playing Chewbacca noises on my phone, just with a quick. I'm over here like trying to get pictures with it, and it was not wanting it whatsoever. Um, it ran away very very far. Found out that was like the baby bear, like based on the
Okay.
sizing. So like Mama Bear was probably anywhere around. So like Mama Bear would have came up, I would have been dead. But
Yeah.
um, but I'm going to ride a moose because that will be
There
the
you go.
coolest 8x10 of all time. Of me
Yeah, it would.
frantically on a moose trying to hang on for my dear life.
Yeah, just grab on them big old antlers, man. You just hold on right there. You just.
I don't know if these Alaskans are gonna be able to handle this crazy like Ohioan.
Oh man. I don't know, man. Yeah, they might be like, oh my lord. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. That's why you gotta stay down there.
These mainlanders suck.
Yeah, man. What are these Yankees doing, man? These Yankees are messing us up, man. God. Oh man. Yeah, man, that'd be cool, man. Yeah, yeah. If you do, you gotta check out, see if they got polar bears up there too, man. I don't know how far polar bears go, but I figure Alaska has a couple polar bears.
Yeah, so
That would
like I
always be cool
looked
to
up
see.
what's like wildlife in that area, and it says polar bears. That's like
Mm,
the first answer on Google. So like I took it with like as like the most legitimate answer ever, which is horrible. But like they got all this crazy animal and wildlife and stuff, and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm gonna like
yeah,
try to meet all these animals, and I'll probably die doing it, but it'll be like a really cool picture.
yeah. But hey, it'll be fun doing it, right? Hey.
um, and then I think the time I'm going will be the best time to look at like the lights, like the whatever they call those lights. So like
The Northern Lights or whatever.
yes, that's what they say at least. So like we'll see.
That's cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, I hope your Alaska trip's awesome, man. That's the place I'd like to visit. I always wanted to go there because I heard that, man. If you gotta go somewhere, it's like you don't really drive. You'll take like a snowmobile or fly there. It's like, man, ain't no driving really up there.
No,
Unless you
not
got
at
four-wheel drive. Yeah, unless you got like four-wheel drive and stuff. So I gotta ask, you said your next show is November. What was it? November what?
So that show is November the 11th. My next is
Okay.
Saturday. So my next one is
Okay. So where are you going to be? So where are you going to be at Saturday?
I will be in Norwood, Ohio. So that's Cincinnati, just like the town area.
Hmm.
Norwood Rec. I'm doing double duty over here. I will be going 1-on-1 against Vincent Slades for the
Ooh.
opportunity
Okay.
to wrestle for the Hardcore Championship.
Oh.
And then I'm also in the 20-man Rumble for the Heavyweight Championship, which is held by Justin Xavier.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That might be pretty good. That might be a pretty good match right there, man. Yeah, if you just outlast
We
all that
wrestled
battle
each other
royal,
a few times.
there you go. That's awesome. I love to hear it. So, traveling around in that area, Cincinnati, Kentucky, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, all that good stuff, man. Are there any funny travel stories that have happened? Like, have you come across like a Bigfoot or like a Jersey Devil or something crazy happen, along the way? Something that you can share, obviously.
Well, I'm not going to name any names for this story. I'm going to keep it very, very anonymous. Um, I'm always the driver. Almost 9 times out of 10, I'm driving. Um, not 9.9 times out of 10. Well, some of the guys I like to go are not like very smart. So we stayed up at a hotel in Pennsylvania, and we, after a show, we're tired. We already had a problem. We went to a bar before, which I'll get into that in a second. That's funny. We leave the bar, we get back to the hotel, and we're putting on. I don't remember what pay per view it was. It was one of the pay per views. We put it on the computer, hook up to the TV. We're watching it, and we just had a. I just worked on a new move like the practice before. It was a torture rack bomb. It was just like the Blue Thunder bomb with a torture rack. And one of the guys goes, "Get me up for it! Get me up for it!" I'm like, "Dude, no, wait, I don't want to mess up this hotel. Get me up!" I won't get him up. He gets me up, and he starts throwing me, throws me onto the bed. So the whole bed's like this normally. It's um, yeah, that's probably like the one hotel I felt really bad for. Um, we got up really early and drove back to another show like the day after. So we're going like 90 on the highway to make it to some like small outside show back in our hometown. But we're like, man, that poor hotel had to put up with us the entire night. That bar was horrible. We went to a show. Um, Something big happened. It was me and Justin. We worked tag up there, and then that Carson guy I brought up earlier. Carson and his partner, Chris Allen. They're a tag team called Hey Allen, and we did a show. Whatever. We go to the bar, and so all of us are white besides Allen. So me, Justin, Carson all walk in first. Nobody bats an eye. Well, Allen walks in. Well, I didn't know this part of Pennsylvania was like extremely like very prejudiced. Had no idea. I don't go to Pennsylvania that often, and by this point, and every head just goes.
Oh man.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm like Alan, let's get out of here, dude. Like we don't want to deal with this. Now, Alan is stubborn. Alan is the most stubborn human being ever, and I love him for it. Alan goes, "I'm gonna get a drink." Like, okay, well, there's a bar. We'll go somewhere else. No, I want to drink here. Like, I want to drink here. Alan, man, no, he sits down, just pops down, and goes, "I'd like a drink," and the lady just stares at him, and we're all like, Carson's in the background. He is death gripping a chair, ready just to go whoosh at like any given moment. And people were like, I'm hearing a bunch of people murmur a bunch of stuff, and we're just like, let's get out of here. Alan drinks his drink with the biggest smile on his face I've ever seen him have, ear to ear, just a giant smile. And we're just like, this is horrible. And then we go mess up a hotel, and I felt bad about it.
Hey, that's how things work out, man.
We've done some crazy stuff. Like we went to PA another time, and we all met up to eat before at a place called Piata. Fell in love with Piata. Oh, so good. Chipotle bowl with like Italian food. So good. And one of the guys goes, "Hey man, hold on to my he had like a switch, I think, like one of the switches, and he's holding my switch and phone before I'm gonna use the bathroom." Well, we're all separate cars, and we had his switch and phone the entire drive, and he was so depressed. We refused to stop. We probably took 4,000 pictures on his phone.
Oh man.
Ran his game dry, and he's just like, "I hate you guys. I absolutely hate you guys." Yeah, our trips are always it's always a fun time. I'm the life of the party. Like I gotta have some kind of fun, and that's like the whole shtick. Like why not? Like why not? So like whether it's us dogging on somebody for something, like just having fun with one of the guys. We did a thing this most recent time. I'm not gonna go super deep into it, but it's a bunch of like guys who are like pretty green, and then Justin, and then we're all sitting in the car, and one of them makes a joke and goes, dude, hear me out. My cutoff, I'm gonna hit you with my car. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, dude, my cutoff in the match. I'm gonna, we'll work, and then my cutoff, I'm gonna hit you with my car. And then we all went back and forth on just horrible ones. Like, dude, hear me out, man.
Damn.
So we'll work, and my cutoff, I'm gonna push you off a cliff. It's like, what? I'm just being like,
That should have been the comeback, man. You hit me with the car, my comeback, I'm pushing you off the cliff.
dude, hear me out. Double down. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
trip you into like a vat of acid. It's like, what?
Yeah. Then we'll do the falsy.
Not to crash my car. Just like this is.
I'll pull you out of the acid, we do the falsy. You know what I mean? Yeah, all that good stuff,
Dude, late 2.9 kick out. But we're just all going back and forth. We probably did this for a good solid hour straight, coming from like a show in Kentucky. Just like I just mentally just was like trying to stay away, but I'm tired. The show we had was just great. Me and Justin had a tag match. He wrestled a group called DWO, Deaf World Order. It's two guys who are deaf.
Okay.
Such solid guys to wrestle. One of the most solid tag teams we've actually had a chance to wrestle, and like I was just tired from that night, and they're all going back and forth in the back, and I'm like, guys, stop! I'm gonna crash.
That's right. Oh man, that's great. So I do gotta ask, before I pass it on back to Remy, man, I gotta ask, are there any new movies and TV shows you're watching right now? Because I always get stuck watching the same things like comfort shows, like I've been watching what was the new? No, I started watching Ash vs Evil Dead again, because it's like Halloween and stuff. I'm trying to find something new. I haven't really found none, so I started watching that again. So I'm always trying to find something. I haven't watched Loki yet. I'm waiting for that for like a couple episodes or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it some time. I'm gonna give that some time. I'm big Marvel and I'm Star Wars. Star Wars is like, my big. I see it. Oh, I see it. Like super big into Star Wars. I haven't started Ahsoka yet. I still need some time.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I'm still working through a couple shows right now. So anything Star Wars on Marvel, always super into. Movie wise, like I love the Austin Powers series. Yeah, boy. I'm trying to be the Austin Powers of wrestling. Like, let's just be honest.
That's right.
Like, I love Austin Powers. He's so great. I think like that's a lot of what my character is in the end. Like, it's just me being me, right? So might as well have fun with it some. The Transformer series. I got the lady into it. She loves it. I'd say recently I just finished Invincible on Amazon.
Okay, yeah.
Top tier, like one of already my favorite shows I've watched.
Yeah. I haven't seen that. I do like The Boys though. I heard it's similar to like that or whatever, but it's the cartoon, right?
Yes,
Invincible.
I just
with the son and the dad. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, I really want to watch it, man. It's like, I've heard it's so good and all. I heard there's like coming a new season, so I need to catch up with it.
Yes. I've already watched. I didn't know. I knew about it, but I didn't like keep up with it yet because I wasn't watching yet. But I just finished it day before last, and I was like, this show is great. Is there a second season? Not yet. I watched the trailer, and I'm like, dude, I mentally cannot like comprehend it. I'm about to rewatch it already again because how good that was. And then you have the classics like The Office, other shows like that, obviously.
Yeah. I was today. I actually finished up like my 50th rewatch of Eastbound and Down. You know what I mean? Like Danny McBride. His shows on HBO, man, they're funny. Like The Righteous Gemstones. Have you ever seen that? That's hilarious. Like, oh man, Baby Billy. Oh man, he's the greatest on there, man. That dude's hilarious.
Like I've always
Baby Billy Bible bonkers.
I like Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Classic. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Classic.
Yes, that's good. I like that too.
Superstore, I think there's another one. I think it's like on Hulu. Love that. I'm a huge Rick and Morty guy.
I like Rick and Morty also.
Like I'm like variety, big variety and stuff. But like, if you can't tell, a lot of it's like either straight action, like Transformers or Pirates of the Caribbean. Like I love those movies growing up. Growing up and getting older and stuff. Like got it super into those Star Wars, Marvel, but like comedy. I love comedy stuff. I want to be able to cackle. Like I want to cackle from a show.
Oh yeah, I like that too, man. They don't make comedy movies a lot anymore these days, man. I miss it. It's all like big budget stuff. I miss that in between, mid budget like Home Alone, The Hangover, stuff like that. It didn't cost a lot, but it was like hilarious and blew up. So yeah, I miss that.
Adam
Police
Sandler,
Academy, yeah, Police Academy
absolutely.
movies.
Step Brothers, oh,
Yes.
like stuff like that. Like you don't need to spend more money on the guy you're bringing in to do this stuff. You don't need to have crazy action sequences. Let them like if there's a fight, let them just hit each other for a few minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, just do that or something. Yeah, every fight scene doesn't have to be the raid. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it ain't gotta be the raid out there. You can have some stuff, doing stuff. Like Pineapple Express. Do some stupid stuff like that where they're fighting and he's like throwing them in the cat box and hit them with like a toilet seat. It's like, oh yeah,
Oh, it's over. I love that. Oh, absolutely.
yeah. That movie's great, man. Yeah. What's his name? Bill Hader. He's a good actor, man. He's funny, man. He does that show Barry. He's pretty good, man. So I do gotta say, man, I want to say before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, come on chat with us. I definitely had a blast. I wish you nothing but the best of everything you do. I hope you accomplish all your dreams and goals. I wish your school blows up and y'all you go around everywhere. Like expand everywhere. Start 5, 6, 7 days a week. Trainees in there, just doing the thing, man.
That's what I want. Thank you so much.
Mike, it was an honor to have you on here, a pleasure to have you on here. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be on our show. Had we known that y'all were a tag team, we would have just made one thing and have the whole both of y'all on at the same time. But at least we got both of y'all on regardless. So, um, like Rob said, we wish you nothing but the best in your future. Hopefully, I'll tell you one thing. In terms of TV shows, if you're looking for a good TV show, The Boys is definitely it. And actually, there's a spin-off called Gen V, which focuses on students it's like they're at a university where people become heroes. So that's a spin-off from The Boys as well too. So I started watching that. It's on season 5 right now, but I would definitely recommend that as well. But I'll tell you one thing. When Arcade Hangover, I'm saying when, not if, when y'all make it to Japan, y'all definitely gotta do like some comedic videos over there, man. You and Justin definitely gotta do some, like, you should definitely do some like videos of like y'all touring, going to Akihabara where to do the cosplays and everything, man.
The goal is for sure that like obviously I want to travel everywhere. It's like the goal. I want to get into the new year. I want to travel overseas. I want to travel overseas for wrestling. Um, expect a lot more media wise from me and Justin. We have some ideas brewing around right now. We're like we loved when when I got super into wrestling, like being the elite. Like that was key. Like we love like we would hang out, whether it's after school or whatever. We'd sit there and just watch Being the Elite and like the getting to get to kind of know them, but they're still kind of a character, still not. But it's like it's a mix of everything. Them traveling, we loved that. And expect some cool stuff. Because we got some stuff brewing right now as far as like in the ballpark of stuff like that for sure.
Awesome. We're definitely looking forward to it, man. Definitely looking forward to seeing y'all, make all those trips. And like I said, it's always good to travel with friends, especially friends that you got into, you got into the business with and so on. It's always some great memories to look back on as well. So we definitely we hope you guys get to travel a lot and so on. And with that being said, before we shut the show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out when your next appearances, whether as a part of Arcade Hangover or as a singles wrestler, and when they want to purchase merch from y'all, where are y'all on social media, and also where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Yes. So, excuse me while I pull it up as well, because my brain is not the best at remembering all these different socials. So, Facebook, Arcade Hangover, just by itself. On Facebook for myself, Party Mike Howard. Party Mike, they because you can't do like a nickname. So Party Mike's one word, Howard the next. It'll still pull up either way. On Instagram, it is, let me double check just to make sure I don't get it wrong. Yeah, so Life of the Party _ Mike Howard. And then Arcade Hangover is just Arcade Hangover. They had that straight up just to be able to do. And I was like, sweet, I don't have to make it complicated. Twitter, LOTP _ Party Mike. Life of the Party. That's what it stands for. And then Arcade Hangover. Crazy, or just Arcade Hangover. And then I have Threads. I just got Threads. It's like Twitter kind of. I don't understand it yet. I'm still working on it. Same thing. Life of the Party underscore Mike Howard. YouTube. Life of the Party Mike or Party Mike Wrestling pulls up the same way. You also got TikTok, Party Mike Wrestling. You'll find me on TikTok. I'm working on getting more stuff out there for that because that's something I struggled with a lot. I'm getting more out there. We do have merch, so you can buy shirts online. We go through PWTs. PWTs right now, I have a few shirts on there. So it's you have a Party Mike Howard or Party Mike, you'll find both. And then Arcade Hangover has a separate thing. We have Arcade Hangover on air. And then if you're at shows, I have so much more. If you have curious on like you like the hat here I got, for instance, I make these in house. I make them right there. So like I'm happy to ship orders. So if anybody hears this and they're like, "That's a cool hat," or "We saw you have merch online and we liked it," I'm happy to ship stuff as well. And that's everything. I had to think about that.
Awesome. So for those of y'all that you heard the social media links. Go ahead and give this man. Go ahead and give Arcade Hangover. Go ahead and give Justin, Pac-Man Xavier a follow as well too. These two young men are doing a lot of great things, and they're putting in the hard work. They're traveling as well because they love this sport. So why not go ahead and support them? Cop that Arcade Hangover merch, and that way when they get signed to AEW or WWE, and some jabroni goes, "Hey, look, I got the new Arcade Hangover shirt from AEW shop or shop WWE or whatever website they actually have." I'm sorry, I buy mostly indie shirts now, so I've completely forgotten about what links they are that there'll be in AEW. But that way, when you have some jabroni that goes, "Yeah, I just got the new Arcade Hangover shirt," I'm like, man, I had their shirt from when they were on the Indies, when they were wrestling in Ohio. Man, sit down. I'm a real fan.
Yeah.
What better way to support somebody than at the beginning of their journey? It's always a great thing. So go out there, cop that merch, support indie wrestling. That's one way. That's one way you can actually support if you can't make the shows, is buying the merch as well. And that's where 99% of your wrestling superstars on AEW and WWE they come from. It's the indies as well. So with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, Rob Bass, the Bubba Ray to my Devon, the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin, and the the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, when they want to find out where next appearances, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Facebook, Rob Bass, Twitter, Instagram, Rob_Base82, and then 1CW will be back in Houston, Delaware, November 4th. I'm not sure of all the matchups yet. We'll get them out to you, so definitely stay tuned. I'll let you know. But yeah, 1CW we're back November 4th, so that's the next show. So definitely stay tuned, and you can always catch us every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on Delmarva Sports Network. If you don't have that, if you're not in the area, you can always go online and type in DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. You can check out, current shows. You can check out our past shows or whatever. There's even shows with me doing ring announcing. There's shows with me getting beat up. There's shows with me reffing and all that stuff. You can see all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So definitely check it out, man. We always put on a good show for everybody when we go out and we do things. So definitely check it out. DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com.
Yes, if you're in any of those surrounding areas, or actually in the town that 1CW is at, definitely check them out. A lot of impressive men and women there. Hopefully, God willingly, when y'all are in Philadelphia, I'll definitely be able to check out a show as well. So y'all definitely make sure you check out 1CW as well. Hopefully, Arcade Hangover. When y'all traveling a lot, so hopefully I'll make it to Delaware. Who knows? Maybe I'll see y'all on 1CW. Maybe Rob will be the one ref in that match. I don't know, and I'll be jealous as fuck. I'm like, darn it, he gets to do that, and I'm stuck here watching this. So yeah. Y'all definitely for those y'all in Delaware, go out and support your local promotion, man. So support 1CW. They're an impressive group of men and women, and they're not going to stop anytime soon. But if you want to follow me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. I was supposed to go to Fort Lauderdale today. I don't know why I didn't go, but I'll probably go next week. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and no, not Threads yet, but Twitter and Instagram at TheRemyBlue, Facebook as Remy Blue. And also our podcast is on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram and Threads at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on Spotify and also on Teespring, where we sell official Ringside Society merch. We have t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies. We even have coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where we have cool interviews like this one, like the one we did with Justin, Pac-Man, Xavier, and many other great men and women in professional wrestling. All you gotta do is go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. Once you see that really handsome, beautiful, dark blue and light blue yin-yang sound, the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1990. As a matter of fact, man, I feel so happy right now. I feel so good. I don't know why, man. Maybe it's the monster I drank. Maybe it's the fact that I'm getting paid this Friday. But I feel like, hey, yo, Rob, should I tell them? Should I tell them what we have this Friday?
Yes, you can.
So this Friday, we will be having a man that is actually familiar to you, Mike Howard, and Justin Patman Xavier, a man who is actually the hot mother lover. We're going to be having Jaden Jett this Friday. So make sure y'all actually stay tuned for that one. It's going to be at 7 o'clock p.m., which is 4 o'clock p.m. for all my West Coast riders, 6 o'clock p.m. for all my people in the middle. We're going to have Jaden Jett on, and he's going to tell us his side of the story. And also why he actually kicked Mike in the face. That wasn't very nice, but sometimes, hey, people have a reason, and we're going to find out. So we're going to have Jaden on this Friday as well. But until then, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate it. We're actually one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to, and we're not going to stop being that. To those of y'all that are listening later on when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away and take our merch with us. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. With that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live. We just want to let everybody know, that we're very well, and it's no secret that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. With that being said, hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for Arcade Hangover, and one time for the man that has one of the sweetest Blue Thunder bombs in professional wrestling, the life of the party, Mike Howard.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And like I said before, we'll be back this Friday with the hot mother lover, Jaden Jett. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.